Hi, everyone. I'm just wanting to do my discussion response on uh, Kentucky, five issues that's facing Kentucky. Um, the first one I have is the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that that's still an issue, and it's probably going to be an ongoing issue for a while or quite a long time, probably. But as of today, Kentucky has seen approximately 785,926 cases. Um, and hospitals, a lot of hospitals are at their maximum capacity, and there are shortages of nurses. Um, says that there's been approximately 10,943 deaths um, since this has begun in the state of Kentucky. Um, I think some of the problems, I know everyone has their own opinion about the vaccine, um, but I think I'm a nurse, and being a nurse, I think that there's several things that we can do to cut down on um, the germs and possibly giving someone COVID is, washing our hands and wearing our mask when we supposed to. And then also, if you're sick, stay home and don't be out around people, um, because, you know, a lot of times, especially at family get-togethers and things like that, you want to go to your families, but you don't want to get everybody sick if you're sick, and then you especially don't want to give someone COVID. So, um, the next thing I have, I think unemployment is a big problem facing Kentucky. Um, there's a lot of jobs available. I don't know if that is. Um, I don't really know what's causing that. I know that a lot of times people think that it's the unemployment, and I think that is probably some of it, but I also think that part of it may be the minimum wage. I think, a lot of people feel that that needs to go up, and I can see that. I mean, what minimum wage is now is really not a whole lot. I mean, you go to work and it may cost you for gas and someone keeping your kids most of your paycheck. So it's really not worth it sometimes for people to do that unless you have two people in the home that's working. Um, so, I mean, there are other issues, I believe, with that. And I think minimum wage should go up. And I know it does, some states it has changed. The state themselves has put it up. The unemployment rate as of today is 4.3%, and that's compared to last year around this time it was 5.5%. So it is going down, and I think it's a good sign that it's going down. Um, but I know here locally, there's restaurants that's had to close like earlier because they don't have enough staff to keep it open later. And then I also know a restaurant that is probably going to be, if they were open every day of the week, and now they're only going to be open like 2 or 3 days a week. So, I mean, everything, it's, just a ripple effect. It's all, everything's changing, and it just kind of goes um, and gets everybody caught up in it. The other thing, poverty um, is a big issue, and Kentucky is currently at 18.3%. Um, and then one out of every 5.5 people in Kentucky live in poverty. The movie that we seen, The American Hollow, it showed how the Appalachian Mountains areas lived, and they were 100 miles away from a town and 2 hours away from school. So, um, it's hard when you're that far away. Plus, it's also hard to not, to grow up in it and then to actually move off. And I know the boy in the film, he did leave there and he went to Ohio, I believe. But then it also stated at the end of the movie that he come back a couple weeks later. So it's kind of hard to get people out of what they're used to being in or their comfort zone. And that leads to education because a lot of times if he received a better education, or maybe was around people that could offer him different ways out, or through different programs, maybe offer him something to help him get a job that would um, help people to possibly get out of that area. um, to me, I feel like that if somebody could live there, that there should be some type of school there, a little closer. I mean, that's just crazy in this day and time not to have some type of school for um, closer than that. Um, but I do understand that the Appalachian Mountains is like really rough terrain and probably not very many places to build anything. Um, but with education, I think that we should all, it's our children that we're trying to take care of. And I think the schools, they have come a long way from when I went to school until now, and they do have a lot of programs that helps and things like that. But I think that kids do fall through the cracks sometimes, and they just get kind of pushed, and nobody notices that maybe they're not to where they need to be. And I just think there should be something to where maybe you could catch some of those, and plus offer or programs that maybe offer help to people, because a lot of kids have a really bad home life and they just need that extra help to, they're not going to feel like doing schoolwork if they've stayed up all night, or their mom and dad has been fighting all night, or just different issues like that. I mean, it's not a good place for someone to learn when they're wore out from being up all night, or whatever the case may be. But I do feel that there is a lot of programs out there for kids, but I feel like there just needs to be more and better, constantly better technology for all schools in Kentucky, not just some of them that have maybe the county has more to put in, or however. I just think that all schools should basically have the same thing. And that leads to the last thing is drug addiction. In two of my different jobs, I worked, and I've seen it firsthand, as far as the opioid and the fentanyl. Those two are one of the leading uh, two drugs in the state of Kentucky, which the others are, meth, and there's marijuana. Um, but the opioids and the fentanyl are just the worst. Um, and I believe there is a program. It's called Kentucky Opioid Response Effort. It's called CORE, and it helps a lot of people with They distribute naloxone, and that is a drug that will block the effect or block the overdose um, of the opioid. Um, it prevents overdose, but sometimes that can help for a few minutes, and then you may have to have more. It's just according to how much the person has overdosed. But um, that has really helped people a whole lot. And I think it saved a lot of lives, having that available to drug addicts and things like that, to have those things if needed. Um, and then also they, have more laws on over prescribing of the opioids, like Lorcet or hydrocodone. Um, those things are opioids. Um, and just improving the safe um, use of them, and giving the education out, even to doctors that, there's some doctors that used to would prescribe whatever you wanted, but now they're really becoming stricter on that, and that helps with um, somewhat of the abuse of it. Um, and then the community guided prevention, the harm reduction, and the access to FDA approved medications to treat the opioid addiction. Um, those are safe programs to be in to help with that. Anybody that is addicted to opioids. Um, and then they have recovery support and just continuing education to the public and um, basically to anyone that'll listen about it. But those are 5 things that I feel that's problems in Kentucky, and I hope that we can maybe come to some kind of something to help improve some of these problems. But that's all I have. Thank you.